Hey guys, back at you with J&J Dynasty. We're going to get this going here. We're doing the late June rookie picks. A little bit behind here, week into July here, but this has all of the final numbers for June. So this is a final for June as far as where players are being picked. All right, well, let's get into it. And first, then I will start off by explaining everything here. And I finally did a little graphic to do it. On the top part there, you can see the 512 and the 60. That's draft pick and overall pick. I think in the next column, you can see obviously that's where the player is. The highest pick that they were picked for a player, trying to make it easier to figure out the highs and the lows, is going to be the pink or the red kind of color. Again, 265 is one pick after 22 rounds in MFL draft, and at 12 players is 264. So 265 indicates that they were not picked. So green 265, that is the earliest they were picked. Overall average for the number of those based off of the total on the far right. That number 3180 divided by the number of drafts should equal 265. It makes it real easy for me to figure that out. So that hopefully is a little bit easier explanation instead of me mumbling and bumbling the whole time at the beginning of one of these. So, all right, well, let's get into the draft here. So let's get into round one rookies. And this is how they're stacking up as far as 1 through 12. Obviously, we'll get into that here a little bit later. I have RJ Harvey, and he's going to be on the cover for the whole thing here because I think he's very interesting, and it's a nice little graphic that I stole. At any rate, so we got Genty going off at 1. He did wind up again once. He was picked second overall, and Hampton was in that league, but that guy had number 1 and number 2, and I think he just wanted to switch it up so that he would ruin Genty being drafted unanimously number 1 overall. So that's that. But as you can see everybody here has their highs and lows. I hopefully made it a little bit easier, not as bright of a red, made it more of a pinkish color, and so there you go. And as you can see at pick number 10, their golden is at 11. That's the first time you start getting off a little bit. Warren makes it back up, and by pick 12, we're right on schedule again there with Loveland. So Genty, Hampton, Tet, and Henderson, and then Judkins, Hunter, Harvey. And one of the reasons I thought when they signed Dobbins 2 weeks into June, I thought Harvey would start to slide, but you can actually see he has not slid, being picked 6th and 8th pretty consistently. So, right at pick number 7. So he's sitting there. He's like a rock. He's just standing there. And Book has been sliding up drafts, actually. 10s and 8, So he's been picked, every time in the last, 6 drafts, except for one time in the top 10. So just keep that in mind. All right. And so we have Mbuka, Golden, Warren, and Loveland. Let's get into the round number 2. I'm going to try and make this one a fairly quick, summary. So Scattaboo is holding out hard at 2-1. As you can see, Burton has caught up to him. They're exactly the same, interchangeable, 2-1 and 2-2. Then you got to have Higgins, Trey Harris, Tootin, Betch, Blue, Ward, which I think that's about right, but he's been coming up boards a little bit on average. Kyle Williams, Taylor Mason, or Mason Taylor. I always say Taylor Mason. I don't know why. Mason Taylor, and Noel and Sampson. So that's going to round out the second round here. And as you can see, the last draft there, a couple of guys got picked high, a couple of guys got picked low. So people are still trying to figure it out and be all over the board. I don't know if there's one draft recently where nobody's gotten a high or a low pick in their draft. So at a certain point, that's going to kind of got to level out a little bit, right? All right, so any movement on these guys? I don't remember. Like I said, I'm a little bit late here on this draw. Third round rookies. Getting into it right away, we got Neal, Jalen Royals, Ferguson, Jordan James, Dart, Hunter, Giddens, Pat Bryant, Arroyo, Io Manor, Smith, and Horton. And as you can see, you go all the way up to 3-6 with Hunter. Those guys in that group right there, 3.62, 3.9, even Horton at the bottom, those guys were not drafted in one draft, and that was the very first draft. Otherwise, everybody was not drafted. I mean, it was weird that A.O. Manor did not get drafted in that last draft either, but that's the way it is. And Brashard Smith, I mean, I think you're going to see him not getting drafted, much, but you can see right there, he went from 27 in one draft to 265, now undrafted in the next. Kind of crazy how much guys are swinging on different guys, or how much the average is swinging on, the highs and lows are swinging on some of these guys. So let's get into the fourth round. We're almost done because realistically, after 3.6 in any of these drafts, it's fair game because they weren't drafted. So 3.5 is the last real pick in the draft, by my opinion, and that's Jackson Dart, and he's 100% a dart throw. So really, once you get into the third round, it's crazy. You get who you like and go with it. Fourth round rookies. Woody Marks, Milrow, Etienne, Shaw, Tesla, Brooks, Fannin, Krosky, Sanders, Gordon, Monangai, and Felton. And as you can see, the further down you get, the more times they are undrafted in these boards. So by this time in the fourth round, if you're getting anybody who you like, it's a blessing, And so obviously some guys are cutting guys or veterans, and guys are getting picked up because you can see how it diverges real quickly. By the fourth round, their average pick is 59th. Like Woody Marks, 37 and 59. So, and he only was not drafted one time. So that's not 100% on that average. So he should be picked at 37 on average. A lot of veterans, a lot of late round picks for him on that. So, all right. And then, so we'll round out with the guys who almost never get picked here. And we've got Williams, Gadsden, who's been having a little bit of a run, been picked for the last 5 drafts. Restrepo, Lane, Martinez, Thornton, Mullins, Howard, Bond, Kyle McCord, and Tez Johnson. The bottom 2 guys have not been drafted yet. We had our first sighting of, who was that right up here? Deontay Thornton, that's who it was. Got him on the board, and Mullins, Cale Mullins. So got those 2 guys on the board in the last couple drafts, I believe, and going on there. So maybe we'll have to get into the 6th round. Maybe we won't. All right, that's going to be the value and the players, and that's the entire draft. I just wanted to get this out and get it to you, crank it up, and get her going. All right, hope this helps with your drafts in July here. Have a great time.